So now courts have started looking at 140, looking at purpose of interpretation, and probably government also should think that this is legacy issue, let's close it. You have the power of assessment. If somebody has wrongly claimed Tran 1, if it is a fake invoice, if stock is not there, you have power of assessment to always question it. Why deny him the benefit at the entry itself? Therefore, then what happened? Government said, okay, you have a problem. You establish that you had difficulty. Go to the nodal officer, write a letter that you had difficulties. He will go to the portal. They have a back end. They will communicate that, yes, you had difficulties based on this IP address, etc. Based on that, we will give you relief. That is how the board gave directions and all that. One fellow went to court and said, I couldn't get all this. Then the department said, he has not given any screenshot that he could not upload the Tran 1. The council said, I could not even access the portal. Where is the question of trying to upload? I don't have screenshots. Nobody told me to take screenshots. If your system is failing, you have to give relief. So court got angry. So court said that when your system is failing, don't expect assessee to take photograph, evidence, insurance company proof and all those things to get those things. Give him the credit. So that set of judgments started coming. So now all judgments are looking at whether there was a technology issue, and if that is so, give as much as relief possible at that threshold. Later on you want a question assessment, please question. So that is why probably government is also thinking we'll open the window once again. My request for both the senior officials from the department is, let them simply open the window without 10 conditions. If they put 10 more conditions, then again same problem.
Before Dr. Murli, no, before you add on, the same issue which comes over here. No, you will not forget it. I know it very well. You have not forgotten the figures of our clients. Okay. The basic thing which Mr. Vaiteshwaran has told us, that you have the legislature, that is the parliament which makes the law. You have the GST council which also basically advises the government about the law. And now you have a third government or the third lawmaker called as the GSTN portal. So these are the issues which I think the trade and industry is facing very seriously. You being part of the e-commerce initiatives and governances, why don't you take up issues? Because I think it's quite human to err. And there are issues where people have filed the returns and they filed the wrong columns or they made some mistakes and we are not able to rectify those mistakes. I think mistakes are bound to happen. I think if there were not mistakes, you wouldn't have so many notifications, circulars and change in rate of taxes also. So this is an indication that if the government can make mistakes, a common man who's not educated, who's not an expert in law can also make mistakes. So can you address those issues also?
Sure. See, I would like to take cue from Venkatramani and also the advocate and Sanjay. Incidentally, I think I should thank myself that I came today because I am the IT nodal officer of the state of Karnataka and also e-way bill nodal officer and also GRC, one of the member. Everything in my name is there. So the stresses and the levels, I know how much I am trying to handle all this. And before getting into that, Sir said the state is losing its financial powers. It's a myth. But I don't want to go to that angle of discussion because yesterday budget you might have seen, we increased the additional resource mobilization on the petrol and diesel. They are the only two avenues where we could able to lay our hands. Oh, I think that clarifies my answer for where the state lost the financial powers. Means to say, to do anything, we have to go to the council. It's a consensus of all the states and the center. I know how difficult or how smooth it is. Let me not go to that. Next, you said about the tax terror, issuing email, that, this, and see, I am in a transition phase. I worked in the erstwhile Karnataka sales tax manual system, VAT partial technology, and GST is totally technologically driven. I have worked in all the three phases. Why I would like to mention, see, we wanted a faceless interface. Please understand, when we asked to be faceless, the basic fundamentals for the faceless were mobile number and email ID. We never want to Inspector Raj. Then we said, okay, give your credentials. The problem what happened, many places, I know because I have traveled the whole state, nook and corner, I know what is the real problem. Many of the taxpayers, they haven't given their mobile number, email ID at all. It is the tax practitioners or the accountants or whoever it is, which is causing the major problem. See, even for the non-filer assessment section 62, whatever it is, Within 30 days, even there's a demand, once they upload, the demand will go down. After that, if it doesn't, it has to go to the appeal. My dear friend, even to go to appeal for some people, the time is barred. Who is responsible for this? Taxpayer or the consultant or the department? Basically, why I'm trying to tell you, we may say technology can be done by anybody, law can be written by anybody, end of the day, awareness has to be created among each and everybody. That's what my focus, always I travel quite a lot for on that.
Which I
I'll
can
see
see.
to that
Thank
the
you.
awareness is created.
Mr. Vaiteshwaran,
This
sir,
tax
before we go
terror,
to
what
Mr.
he said is
Narayan
happening because of this wrong email ID and the wrong mobile number.
The fundamental difference between
I
what
just
you see.
like to share, if technology wouldn't have been there, do you know how much of stress would have been on the officer's side? Before this e-way bill blocking came into picture somewhere in November, do you know how many non-filers across the India, my dear friends? 21 lakhs non-filers across India out of 1 crore 25 lakhs. Now, as day for yesterday when I was speaking with the e-way bill NIC Karnataka, Mr. P.V. Bhatt, he said, Murali, it has come down to 13 lakhs now. The people who are generating e-way bill means to say you are doing business, who is supplying some goods. I'm not getting into services, my dear friends. Only goods aspect, 21 lakh dealers, taxpayers who are non-filers, who are only major goods only. Now it is 13 lakhs. Means 8 lakhs tax compliance has come within a 2 to 3 months. Means there is a gap of always 2 months of defaulters you can be there. Third month you're going to block. Do you know, it is in the paper, which I can talk also. Air India has paid 100 crore before generating e-way bill because their portal was blocked. Means to say technology is driving or it's going to killing the industry, you mean to say. Can we, the state or the center can keep quiet for months together to see that the returns are not filed? The last 3 months, if you see, in spite of economical slowdown or whatever the reasons we have, the collections of GST is not less than 1 lakh crore. 1 lakh 3, 1 lakh 5, 1 lakh 13, now it's 1 lakh 5. Am I right? In the last 3 successive months, it is unprecedented. See, this is because of follow-up of, vigorous follow-up of the non-filers, and plus because of the technological interface. So we have to give a credit to a certain place where it has to be given due credit. Please understand, my dear friend, even in my department itself, as a commercial tax department, in the state, we have 1 lakh non-filers. We have brought down to less than 75,000 now. For so many reasons, they create e-way bill, they won't move the goods. Okay, we are not that much, officers will follow. Because who are actively involved. One instance I would like to say, once the e-way bill is blocked, to whomsoever it may concern, the taxpayer says, today I am moving this particular goods because e-way bill portal is not working. Actually, it is blocked, it is, because it's a non-filer. In fact, non-filers from past 6 to 8 months we got it. It's not 1 or 2 months, my dear friends. Please understand that side also. Okay? Instead of, okay, I can understand there are some issues like section 50. I don't want to par with that. Okay, it is going to have a lot of debates on that. And once again, it all happened because of court interference in Telangana High Court, if I can recollect my memory. And one directive by the CBAC Telangana. And several courts took off whatever it is. And the council also took a note of it. And they amended. And only 2 states have to incorporate that. I think it will going to happen. Let us see what is going to happen. It is already in the domain of the political leaders and the council. Let me not deliberate on that. Honestly, as a person, I am very happy if it is paid on the net. Okay, I am very happy on that. And coming to the Tran 1 and Tran 2, because in the last 1 year I am seeing Tran 1 and Tran 2 issues, being I am the IT nodal officer. Yes, what's the credit? The due money of mine has to be given smoothly to the next phase. I'll agree. Time was given, timeline was given, extension was given. The procedure is all followed. Not that procedures are not in place. Please understand. Day for yesterday, a person came with a good friend of mine. He's showing a document of the High Court. Sir, the court has told like this. You please see the accept and open it. I said, there is no Kulja Simsim here. Though I am an IT nodal officer, I can't do anything. I have to verify, I have to flag to them. Am I right? In that particular case, my dear friend, accountant has not done the work at all. When what he should have been done. He is Opening his eyes in 2019, not in 2018 when we gave the portal open. See, please understand, even before the court also, I had come across, with due respect to the courts, I think Judicial Academy has to take up a rigorous course and training on judicial matters, particularly GST new law. They have to understand the concept and conceptualizations on that. I personally feel in the last 23 years of experience of my taxation. So that kind of issues come before us. And another thing, okay, technical glitches and screenshots, okay, I can agree. And we have replied with the endorsement, approved or not approved, means we go back to the trial, we understand whether what actually the problem was there, whether the taxpayers attempted or not, we can make it out very clearly. See, I'm telling, I can lie, I can deceive. Technology will never deceive, my dear friends. Please understand this. Technology will never deceive. You people can ask for some extension, whatever it is. But technology is very clear, procedures are well laid down, things are very clear. I know it's a due money for them. I can understand your agony. But look at other side also. How many times to tinker on the same thing quite often. And please, even actually, I can understand 1819 is there are some corrupting. Tran 1 details are appearing in 1899 file 999. In fact, I told one of my, in a later way, take these screenshots also so that court can understand how technology is failing in some parts also. I can understand. Why I'm trying to tell you this Tran 1, Tran 2 credit, if you look at it, in fact, I suggested one of my fellow colleague, my commissioners on the other part, why can't you make it a subject to audit? What is that you're going to lose in that particular
I'm
Tran?
sorry, I think we are running short of time.
Exactly. No, I just, why I'm trying to tell you all this, there is both your and our both responsibility are there to see that taxpayer educated properly and understand things properly so that we can make that better compliance.
Thank you, my colleagues over here. I think there has been a demand from the members that they want the rapid fire questions of what they are facing today. What we'll do is we'll request the open house session to open. I've got another 10 questions of my own to ask. I'm foregoing those rights because I would rather like the audience to ask the questions. I will take the question first over there at the back, the third row. Yes, sir. Then we come back over here. Sir, we'll come to you the next, sir. We request you for two things. Please make your questions very crisp, clear, and which member of our panel you want to ask other than myself, because I'm not into GST anymore.
My first question is that input tax credit, where it is one of the conditions is that the return has to be filed by the supplier. Whereas as a dealer, we have already paid the amount to the supplier and we have cleared our dues. Tax is already remitted to them. We are having a right to claim that eligibility. But whereas notices have started shooting up saying that since he has not filed the return, vendors are not filed the return, you are not eligible for claiming as an input, and your input is disallowed and you pay the taxes retrospectively from the date of the claim.
Whom do you want to answer?
Sir.
Venkat is answering or?
Yeah, anybody can answer. Sir, from the department side is better this one, so that they can take to the council.
No, department will give you a very, very legal answer. I think we should go with Venkat, which will give you the judicial answer also.
Yes, sir.
Compliment one line after what he speaks.
Yes, I understand the problem, but that is one of the 4 conditions prescribed in section 16. Now, whether the legislature is right or wrong is immaterial. The condition is that the supplier should file his return and pay his taxes. This condition has to be fulfilled. Please be careful. There are 2 other sections which are staring at you. Go to section 41 and also go to section 155. Both these sections cast the onerous burden on the SSC to prove that the supplier has remitted taxes. So to that extent, GST has now imposed certain conditions which are near impossible to comply. I think courts will only have to come to the rescue.
I would, Mr. Vaiteshwaran, with section 182 of the Indian Contracts Act and the old judgments under the VAT law, which said that the SSC need not bother about the collections, and now with the change scenario in GST where there's a compulsion under the law, how do you feel under the this thing it would take up in the judiciary? Whether they would...
First, let me not go there and all. Now, I am enjoying my role as a lawyer. Your question is on supplier filing return, not filing return. My good friend has said section 16 2 conditions. This is a panel where we can disagree. because it's a free panel. I would require you to read section 16(2) fully. 4 conditions are there. Notwithstanding anything in the section, no registered person shall be entitled to the credit of input tax. That means we are talking about recipient. In respect of any supply of goods supplied to him, that means recipient, unless he is in possession of tax invoice. Recipient, he has received the goods or services. Recipient, he has furnished the return. Why do you jump to supplier? He has furnished the return can mean the recipient. When you are linking him and he, it can't go to she. Right? Now 3 conditions satisfied. 4th condition is a problem. I agree. Subject to so and so, tax charge in respect of such supply has been actually paid to the government either in cash or through utilization of ITC in respect of the said supply. That means buyer has to do CBI work to find out whether supplier has paid tax. Take BSNL telephone bill. Get BSNL telephone bill on which you have taken GST credit. Can you find out whether BSNL has paid GST to the government? So that is why they designed all those things which did not ultimately work. 1, 2, 2A. I still remember those tamashas which used to happen in the first year in all your CA conferences. Many speaker after speaker will say, as soon as you file GSTR 1, it will come and sit here in 2A. As soon as you file 2A, it will sit in 1A. You know, all those, that time itself I disagreed. A lot of people were angry with me saying that, why don't you accept technology? I said, I accept technology. In fact, I have written the first book on taxation of digital economy which got in market from yesterday. I understand technology, but not, don't assume that everything will happen. It will take time. As he rightly says, it will take time. So the 3rd condition is what we call as onerous condition. Can I fulfill a condition which is beyond my control? How much can I investigate BSNL whether they have paid the tax? And how do I prove it? He may give us, challan copy or return copy. I cannot find out whether this he has paid because that kind of details are not there. Therefore, courts have said onerous conditions cannot be insisted upon. So you have Punjab and Haryana High Court, you have Arise India, you have Madras High Court Judgment Vinayaga Shutters, you have various judgments going on it. So as he says, this will ultimately go to court. Bharat Telemedia writ is pending in Delhi High Court on the very same issue of section 16(2) clause C.
Sir, if everything would have sat into the 2A, etc., would we be sitting here? Dr. Murli.
And there's nothing much to add to that. As I said, the law is very clear. As I said in earlier, the first note, what is the difference VAT and the GST? The premise of GST is on the supplier and the buyer combination. That's it. So on that particular premise, everything has been drafted. And the technology should have helped to that extent, where in somewhere actually 1/4/2020, new return may take care of that particular activity, whether it's a default or not. At that time, things will be set right.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in case of loss concerns, no purchase, no sale, no stock, because it's a loss concern, GST registration cancelled. Letter issued, registration cancelled. But he has not uploaded GSTR 10. In such a case, 3 months after, if 3 months is elapsed, SGST 5,000, CGST 5,000, he has to pay. How do you justify that, sir?
The notice has been issued after
Yes, sir.
cancellation.
Yes, when you go to the annual return or whatever it is, to meet the final return,
It's
to
okay.
meet
The
the,
question
there
is-
it will be there 10,000 rupees liability for a closed concern, a lost concern.
So, no. There could be some technical issues over there also. Please do one thing. Get me the details. Let us examine our help desk. It's our head office, Gandhinagar, down. Certainly, we'll look into that. What is the issue? Let us get back to that. Let me not comment on that. Certainly, I will see that the issue is resolved on that.
Sure,
Okay?
sir. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else on the audience would like to ask any questions?
Sir, you have 2 fine officers here. Please use the opportunity.
Yeah. 2 fine officers, 2 fine consultants.
That is later.
No. Yeah. If there are no more questions, I would like to ask the organizers. Yeah, please.
To Murali Krishna sir, in one of the case, in one of our client case, returns have not been filed, Shokas has been issued by the department, and then we have not replied for, the client has not replied for that. So the The client has replied, he has said, he has again asked for clarification. When we open the portal, in portal the due date it is showing is 17/11, you have to, by 17/11 you have to reply. And when on 16/11 we are replying, it's saying that the date is expired. And when we went inside the notice and seen, there the personal hearing is on 12/11. And the number is cancelled by the officer. Since that you have not replied. I filed a grievance.
For registration you are speaking?
No sir.
For filing the returns?
After filing the returns,
Okay.
after filing the returns, I have filed a clarification.
Okay.
Again, the officer has issued a notice, show cause, for personal hearing. For personal hearing, he has issued a show cause. For that notice, for that personal hearing notice, when I open a notice, there the due date to reply is 17/11. And on 16/11, when I go for replying, it says the date is expired. 3 months I went to the officer. He has put a grievance. I have put a grievance. They says that the same has not been replied by you.
No, the
And
question,
the officer says it has not came in my portal.
it's okay, I understood. The question is that you would have spoken to the officer, the result won't have come and all that. Please understand, there is an hierarchical thing. He has put a grievances also. Okay. Today, in fact, we are going to publicize live on our portal a grievances portal we have. We have a grievances which has been raised. Though it is, we say it is resolved in our hand, he'll go and sit back to his particular officer. He only has to say finally it is resolved or not. That the loop we are going to complete today. Tomorrow it is going to be there on air. We're going to see that it will be in live. See to that, I can understand your issue. You could have flagged to us immediately. It's not that you have taken 3 months in the particular office, you have really wasted your time. I can put it very clearly. You could have just walked onto our help desk, you could have resolved your issues within a moment of, no, I'll tell you, the question is that, see, the CBIC and the state government, Karnataka, is a model one state, please understand. We work at the back end. We are not directly work with the GSTN. There could be issues with our end or with the GSTN portal. So that issues technically, we have to resolve it.
The
Okay.
officer is saying that he has not received in
I would
response
request
not
you,
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The
sir,
question
you can
is
take
that,
it offline post-session,
Yeah.
sir, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Because I think there are more concerns over there. Can somebody move on the mic? Ganpat bhai, and after that the mic can go at the back, please, over there.
Sir, GST has to be registered once the services or anything which crosses to a limit. So, but health services is totally exempt as per notification. But as per Act, we have to register. Many of the doctors we have been suggesting, you are coming under GST, you have to register. But they say, no, nothing like that. You are only talking like this. So what is your view on this? Because we have registered for few doctors. We are telling, then they are coming and telling us, I think your advice is wrong. Why you are registering us? We are not required. Then similarly, charitable organization. They also, because they may be doing some security service now. For example, suddenly reverse charge has been brought. Though earlier forward charge was there, suddenly reverse charge has come. So in that case also, why charitable organization, whether it requires registration or no? Because they have blank, totally they say charitable organization is exempt.
We'll have Venkat answering this first, and then we go to Dr. Murli. Yeah.
Ganpat sir, I'll take your second question first. Charitable organization is not exempt. If you go to 12/2017, although he refers to 12A, you have to fulfill those 3 conditions for you to be exempt. The deformity, illness, AIDS related, I don't know, whatever. You have to fulfill those 3 conditions. Simply because you are a 12A entity, don't think you are exempt. You are taxable unless you fit into that notification. That is one part. The second part is insofar as doctors are concerned. Yes, I understand. I have also seen some of these examples. Section takes care of it. If you are engaged only in exempted supplies, you don't need to take registration at all. There is no requirement. But please ensure that there are no ancillary supplies, which means supply which is ancillary to exempt supply. Those can be taxable. Please ensure that it is not there, then you don't need to register.
Now, just to add on to the doctor services, I think you might be from Gulbarga side and whichever place I come across, Bangalore, many people. See, in many medical practices, not only adding to the medical, what actually service the profession that do, As I said, they receive some certain income from different organizations for whatever the activity. I don't want to get into. In such cases, even that exempted turnover added to the aggregate turnover, then they have to take a registration. They have to. Yes. Any ancillary service.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. No, no, if that is the case, if we come across, see now it's a PAN based. Please understand, sir.
Yeah.
Today may be in a in a closed hut. Once sometime we're going to pick it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, assuming that the interest under section 50 is accepted under net basis, will balance in the cash ledger be also be considered for netting it off? For delay in say filing of 3B return, monthly return, sufficient cash balance was available in the cash ledger. So if you accept net basis for input tax credit, why not cash balance?
Sir, already we discussed enough on that. Let us not discuss that particular issue. It's already, the government has seized of that particular matter. Let's look into that later. Okay?
Now, as far as the cash balance is concerned,
Yes, sir.
you see, this has not been credited to the government account at all. It is there in the bank, your account only. Secondly, under the law, there is no provision for setting of any interest on the cash balance till the payment is made.
No, I have never had any intentions of delaying the payment. So I have deposited my money into the cash ledger.
I'm saying it's a legal position, so I don't think we will be able to set out that.
Yeah, okay.
There was somebody at the back, the last, can the mic go? Yeah, after the lady asks the question, yeah.
So my question is on the ITC. So there is a cap of 10% on the ITC that we'll be able to take, that's reflecting in 2A. So for a smaller company, so there will be some of the vendors who will be filing on a quarterly basis. So every month when I take, if I cap it at 10%, then there'll be a struck in the working capital. So how do we address that issue? Because if we take more than 10%, then I immediately get messages and mails that you have taken more than 10%. If we pay, then there's a cap on my working capital.
Mr. Venkat, I think, and I think the amendment from 1/4/2020 also.
1/4? Yeah. Please, sir. Yes, I understand it is a cash flow situation. But you also understand the pain of the government. Please understand. I'll tell you what is the pain of the government. Section 43 capital A stood in the statute book, according to which there is a 20% cap. Correct? Therefore, on 9/10/2019, they notified 20%. The entire country went into a tizzy. So, they amended that through 75/2019 to say, no, it is not 20, it is 10. Right? So, Rule 36 sub-rule 4, Rule 36 sub-rule 4 now prescribes this 10% limit. Right? So we have to undergo this pain of moving courts and getting this quashed. We don't have any other option. It was like the officer was saying earlier, or I think Vaitishwan sir was saying earlier, take credit, don't take credit, etc. It will appear in 2A, it will go in 3, etc. Nothing will happen. We will have to fight this in courts.
Just
Mr.
a
Vaitishwaran.
quick response. 36(4), if it owes its origin to 43A, then 36(4) is illegal because 43A has not yet been notified. 43A has come into the act but had not yet been notified. Why it was not notified? Because 43A is a package. 43A changes the goalpost and the rules whereby ITC is a joint and several responsibility of the supplier and recipient. Parliament has done that. That section has been created whereby you have to upload the invoice, verify the invoice, accept the credit and go through the process, and then the government gets the power to specify up to 20% formula. It's a package deal, 43A. 43A is yet to be notified. Therefore, Rule 36(4) has no legs to stand on. Ideally, go to court. No other choice if 2020 is restricted. But if you ask me practically, this 2010 formula, etc., these are all short-term, knee-jerk reactions of the government because of the loss of revenue. And as Sir rightly said, despite all the economy, 1,00,000 crores is a pretty good sum. In fact, I had an occasion to discuss this in another meeting where FM was present. I raised 2 points. I said, country is going through a spin. Growth is not happening. GST rates have been reduced like anything. You have to accept that. GST rates have come down significantly compared to what it was. You reduce rates, country is not doing well, how will collections alone grow? Tax collections is a factor of growth. Yes, there are evaders, etc. Now, this non-filers which sir was talking about, probably in goods it is true. But in services, many people have taken GST registration even though they are not liable. Because that buyer is a big fellow. He's got a big consultant. He has told him, don't do business unless that fellow comes with a GSTN number. So vendor profiling, do you have GST number? No, get out. So that fellow goes and gets one registration. He will be supplying some exempt services or less than 20 lakhs, not even required to register, but he got registered. So all this became a government issue. They also got paranoid. Therefore, this 80-20, 90-10 and all is coming. But strictly speaking, it's input tax credit which is available to you, and therefore you need to test it whether it is valid or not. Ideally, maybe when e-invoice is becoming legalized, 43 becoming properly implemented, these things will come into play.
Sir, with regards to a small traders who is registered under regular and want to switch over to composition dealer. Switching into composition dealer, now the issue is with regarding the stock in hand. Whether he is liable for GST on the balance stock.
Reversal of input tax credit, I think.
Reversal.
That's it.
But usually reversal of input tax credit only in regarding the available stock. Because the input tax will be always used, whatever is in his account. But on the stock, whatever is that, it has to be reversed. Okay. Along with this, now a small trade, now the turnover limit is increased to 40 lakhs. Till we need not record to get registered. Now, if you get deregistered, if you put for a closure, now the option is made available, closure of business. Otherwise, earlier we have to say there is a stock nil. Now, if you put under closure of business, I mean to say, due to his limit, he has not crossed the limit. His limit is below the taxable. In that regard also, he has to pay the tax on the stock on the reverse basis.
Yes, so long as you are registered, yes.
And one more humble request, sir. As regards to this interest issue, which is still, as we discussed today, it is a matter of discussion and pending. But what we are seeing, the officers, they issue one notice, so-called notice, thereafter immediately making attachment. How far it is justifying, at least they should.
I think we appreciate your point. I'll just put across the issue on attachment and...
As far as the interest on this liability is concerned, what we are saying is at least we pay it on the net.
Yeah.
That's all we are saying. We are not insisting for gross liability.
No, the net is acceptable to all, sir. The net interest on the net amount is acceptable to all.
That's what we have been requesting them to pay.
Yeah. I think there's an issue which you have to... No, I think we'll...
Sanjay, since two senior officers are there, I will take your permission to flag one issue which might affect the country.
Please, sir.
And they can take it up with the council. We have this latest Supreme Court judgment on AGR, adjusted gross revenue of telecom. And there is tremendous pressure to pay, and there is a possibility that one or two companies may collapse also. Now, in this context, you have this registered mobile number. Every GST SSC, every PAN SSC, every Aadhaar card holder, every credit card, debit card is linked to one registered mobile number. Without that number, nothing can happen. Now, if two companies are going to collapse like this, you can't get that portability so easily into the third or fourth company. So, you will face a very serious problem. You need to flag it and address it.
I think it's a very, very beautiful suggestion. I think a big applause, because I think that's the place where consultants play a very important role of forecasting what are the problems you're going to see in the future. Last one question over there, please, then I conclude.
Sir, my question is regarding to refund of unutilized ITC. Let's say as per section 54, we have a date from the book of accounting till 2 years we can file the return, so we can get the refund. Let's say we filed on after 18 month or 19 month before before completing 2 years. And after filing it, we did not submit the documents to the department. That is the reason department deny it to give the refund. So what would be the date? Is it the booking date which is earlier mentioned as per the act, or it has, because it is crossing the limit, 2 year it is crossing the limit. So what would be the date? we can consider it.
See, if you look at the section 54, it's very clear. Your question doesn't flag there at all. Okay, it's only for exports, deemed export, whatever payment, without payment, and services certain category. And further, it's an inverted duty structure. Otherwise, the other parameters will never get into that. Whatever the credit ledger is available, it will be there, it will get carried forward, that's all. The refund doesn't, that module also is not under particular. Section 50 make it very clear.
So
I hope Venkat will agree on that.
So
Yes, 54 is very clear. Okay.
So input is not getting to unutilized, it will be there.
If it is unutilized, it will get carried forward. That's all, my dear friend.
Okay.
You can't get a refund on that particular aspect. I would like to say another one thing, because many of the taxpayers and the office, even officers and officials, many are getting confused on that. Circular number 125, read with section 52, I think, TDS provision, 52. There, please understand, TDS and TCS deducted amount which is coming and sitting in the taxpayer ledger, cash ledger. There, many are treating it as a excess cash balance in that ledger. They are filing a refund on RFD 02. That's wrong. Please re-look into that particular provision. Understand that particular provision. Excess cash balance in the ledger means if it is gone to a wrong head, excess collected or wrongly deducted. Rightly deducted, rightly collected, sitting in the cash ledger, refund not available. I hope I am clear. Okay?
The last question.
Just 1 minute. Continuing with the same thing, sir. So continue most of the inverted structure also. So this problem is that input credits are taxable at 18% and 12%, and is selling at 5%. Never value addition will be to the extent of 18 or 12%.
That will get it. Inverted duty
No,
structure.
how it is to decide that, sir? How we can say that in the portal or anything that we should get the refund on this? Because now every month it is getting some addition over there.
No. See, people are applying and they're getting it. They're getting it. I have not come across till date. In the last September 26, we launched online single disbursement authority. Till date, any such questions have been flagged to us.
Dr. Murli.
Coming, sir.
You are saying that you are not getting inverted duty refund for the services, input services.
Yes.
You see, it's a conscious decision in the law to allow inverted duty structure refund only for the goods, not for the services and the capital goods.
Not for the goods only. See, the
For goods only.
Goods, if you are able to satisfy the conditions, you are getting it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we end the questions now. We have already reached 7 o'clock, and for morning you have had a wonderful time.
Sanjay.
I was given...
1 second.
Yeah, but...
I'll take only 20 seconds.
No, I'll give you a concluding remark would be given to you.
No concluding before that.
Okay, please.
I'll take 20 seconds. I would like to end my part of the session with an apology. I have taken the government on pretty strongly, I am aware of it. But I want them to feel the pinch. Therefore, I took it on. I have no intent to hurt any of the officers here or any trade or business. If I have cast any aspersions during my short talk here, there was no intent at all. If I have hurt, my profound apologies, I crave your indulgence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Venkat. I think it has been taken in the right spirit. And my friends from the department here would also appreciate. Okay, and as he rightly put it across, it was not with the pinch of salt, it was an eye opener. And when the eyes are open, you don't put the salt into it. Okay. Okay. We were given a beautiful task. It was called as VUCA GST panel discussion. That is VUCA. I do not know how many of you understood the meaning of what is VUCA. In fact, I didn't know till I came in the morning when Sir called me up and said that, why did you keep it as VUCA GST panel discussion? Because VUCA means volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That is what Sir told me also. And Siddesh also had explained me what does VUCA mean. I think after this panel discussion, I do not know how much of uncertainty and ambiguity we have been able to clear, but I think the complexity and the volatility has been reduced substantially. I thank my panel for the wonderful discussions they have had. But in addition to this, one closing remark which I would like to make across is with regard to the bank attachments. I think today was a very black day as far as the stock markets were concerned in India. We had a major fall of around 1,500 points, which again got restricted to 850 points. And we had one company called as Yes Bank. Just yesterday night, there was an announcement to say that the withdrawals will not be more than 50,000 rupees. And the value, the book value of the company was around 20,000 crores, and the stock market value came. This is what happens. Okay. And the stock market values of the company came down to 4,000 crores today, just because of the restrictions in the withdrawals. I would only like to tell my departmental friends over here that whenever you do a bank attachment, the economy is going into tough challenges. You are putting the same aspirations against their vendors to say that if the bank accounts are blocked, that these people could be defaulters, etc., and the whole business and the economy of those dealers could be restricted. So whenever there's a bank attachment which happens, I agree that there are defaults, I agree that there are years of thing, that if there could be some sort of an odi alteram patrum wherein they're given a notice and they are heard, and then the attachments have happened, that would be much more good for the economy, because I think after the coronavirus and the economic slowdown which is happening, we are going to face major challenges as far as the recouping of the economy, and there, if the department could help us, it could be very good. Rather than going for direct attachments, I will not accept any more questions. No, nothing. No, my time is up, sir. Well, because you have not raised the economy, but yeah, I'll just give two minutes to my panelists to conclude. And on my behalf, I would thank the organizers. On behalf of my panelists, I would like to thank across. I would not take the 2 minutes. I hand it over to them. First with Mr. Vaiteshwaran, then with Dr. Murli, then with Venkat, and then with Narayan Swamy sir. We conclude, and thank you all for a patient hearing. I know it is a tough task, more tougher than the filing the GST returns, is to listen to lectures after so many years of being in practice till 7 in the evening. Thank you. You want me to conclude?
I think we live in exciting times. We have to admit that professionally, business-wise, GST has got its pains. I am not saying no, but I don't think there are no gains. I still go back to my first 5 minutes of address. There are a lot of positives from a business perspective. Once economy changes, so you'll see the change. Supply chain will reform itself. When SCM supply chain completely changes, you will see the real translation of GST chain. The equitable system of taxation, when it is properly implemented and everybody feels that I am not the only person paying, everybody is paying their fair share of taxes in the chain. That is the true sense you will see. And the third biggest gain you will see is GST will increase income tax revenues. If you are an assessee for GST, you also please pay income tax also. So government, country will gain, and I think the rates are still kept reasonable. They are not unreasonable.
I don't want to add anything much. I think we have seen a long journey in the last so many years. GST in the last 33 months has taken a lot of initiatives to change itself structurally and procedurally, even technologically also. In days to come, things will going to get stabilized and it will be a win-win situation. That much I can say. Thank you. And it's a very good panel discussion organized by the organizers. I should thank wholeheartedly for that and inviting me for being in that panel. Thank you.
I think I will conclude with a word of caution to all professionals who are sitting here. Don't play with GST. Don't play. It will catch you sometime. I'm telling you. The arm of technology is very long. The arm of the government is very long. It will come after you, never before, like never before. Just consider this fact that VAT was restricted to the state. They had no reach, therefore they could not reach elsewhere. Here the technology will catch up, be it service or be it goods or be it goods and services, it will catch up. The kind of data, my additional commissioner is not talking here because he is probably bound by his service rules. The kind of data, sir, correct me if I'm wrong, the kind of data that they have got is phenomenal. You don't know the kind of data that is available with them. It is not available with us. To that extent, technology-driven, the GST portal is technology-driven. I was amazed to see some of this data that has been mined. I was surprised that transactions like this are happening in a country like India, and we as professionals are not even aware of these transactions. Be extremely careful. I am only telling you, don't play with GST. One. Second, to businesses if they are here, I want you to be careful. Don't have breakdown checks. I want you to have caution checks. Once you break down and try to apply the checks, GST is pretty merciless. It is pretty merciless. You are not going to get, whatever you do, you are not going to get the kind of relief. So, to professionals, be careful, don't play. To business, don't take your chances. Don't have breakdown checks, have caution checks. You will enjoy the law. Thank you very much.
Before Mr. Narayan Swamy speaks, I would just like to tell you an incident which happened. I was talking to one of the spiritual leaders around a week back when I was in Chennai, and I'd asked this question, that earlier when you used to do any karma, it could be that the fructification would happen probably after a few years, a few decades, or in the next birth. And I asked him that has technology changed the fructification of karmas and it's made it early? And he said yes, because now with technology, what you had done a pap today, you would have reaped the problems after a few births or a decade. But today, it is a few days or a few months. So be careful that technology has also led to early fructification of your karmas. Narayan Swamy, sir.
I take this opportunity to thank the organizers, KS, CAA, and all of you for giving this opportunity to listen to your failings. We have not taken anything wrongly, whatever Mr. Venkatraman said. This is an opportunity to understand what you are saying. In fact, GST whole implementation formulation is a great experience where a lot of democratic principles were applied. Even today, in spite of all this, whatever the problems you are going through, we are all sitting and discussing. You are not going and demonstrating or anything. It's a great thing. I want to ask you one question. When you go to the airport, what do we do? All of us go through the security drill. Yes or no? Only except few exempted people, all of us go through. Why are we going through that security drill? We all know that we are not terrorists. We all go through because we don't want even single fellow to sneak in and finish off our lives. I think even in GST, this is the culture we should come in. Compliance should be there. We should understand, and for example, 2 weeks back, there was a case in Delhi, 23 fake companies had swindled 1,700 crore ITC. Similar cases, state has booked. In fact, I did book. So unless we curb these frauds, genuine taxpayers and genuine consultants like you will not be able to survive. I think all of us should understand that. In fact, we are in truly a VUCA world. VUCA world is, as Mr. Dhariwal said, I strongly feel once GST stabilizes, I think that can become an antidote in India for VUCA world.
I hand over the mic to the organizers. Thank you very much, one and all, on behalf of all of us.